It's really probably one of the best discussions artists can have. And to get you fired up, I would say that the word originality is absolutely useless in this situation. I think it's the first word we think of, but in the big portfolio reviews, it's not the word that's used. It's not used in the curatorial world. The word that's used is your voice. The fact that you shoot a similar subject matter, that perhaps it's shot under the same circumstances, perhaps the idea behind it and the intention behind making that photograph is similar to other people. It is almost impossible for it not to be. As you sit here, it's daylight in much of the rest of the world. And at any one point in time, there are probably in excess of 1 billion people, as we sit here now, taking pictures as we are eating here at a CoPA meeting. And you say, how is that possible? Cell phone cameras are very good. The citizens of the world, almost all, have cell phone cameras. If you think you see a lot of cell phones here, try to triple, quadruple, multiply by a factor of 10 that number of cell phones actively in use in most of the rest of the countries. We use our cell phones far less than they're used most other places. So with 6 billion people in the world, it is an easy idea to believe that there's that many people running around with cameras. And what I find most interesting is in other countries, they're taking pictures far more frequently than they're sending text messages or having telephone calls. So that's the competition, folks. Think of it that way. And that's the people that are awake right now. So if that's the case, how is it possible that you can do something truly original? And is it even necessary for you to do that? So how does one decide whether you like a piece of work and you like the fact that in that piece of work you see something that's special about it when you're looking at somebody's work or they're looking at yours? And it comes down to voice. Frankly, I and you, none of us are interested in a piece of work that you could refer to as generic. That is to say that it's so lacking in a personal style, in a personal idea, in a personal expression, that it could be attributed to any one of 100,000 people. And that's pretty normal with a lot of work that you see in magazines. You see a lot of work where it's really hard to pin down. And it wasn't the intention of the person who made that photograph to try to express themselves at a very personal level. But if you want to be original, the answer is very simple in my estimation. That is to speak with your own voice. The moment that you fail to do that, the moment that you speak with anybody else's voice, or an idea that you might have about what you think the public would like, or what would sell best, what's commercially successful, anything that's other than your deepest felt inner expression is not going to be a personal voice. You need to go there.
I agree with Larry, and I'd like to say essentially the same thing, but in a different way. I think the idea of originality is overemphasized in our society, in our medium, and in the arts in general. The art market values originality, whatever they think that means. I did some original artwork once, okay, but nobody really cared that I did, and I've discovered that, as Larry said, it's not about that I think is what's important. What I find more important is not originality, but meaningfulness, and doing something that benefits people in the world somehow. I'm involved in photography, I'm involved in a lot of other things, and I try to mediate these things and harmonize these activities in my life. And when I can come up with pictures that are both what I think are good pictures, but also are creating meaning for people in a way, I think that I've been successful. Whether that's original or not is not all that important to me.
I've been photographing now since 1950, so I may be photographing longer than probably anybody else in the room except Sir Tom Fervor, who probably beats me by a few years. And for guys like us that have done this for a long time, believe me, it was very easy for us to become stale. And in fact, I'm sure Tom on the fine art level, and I myself on the fine art level, have been through many moments like that. We just can't quite figure out what we're supposed to do next. So one is always on a search for what is meaningful. What's meaningful in the experience of making photography? What does it mean to you? Why do you like doing this? What do you get out of that activity? Beyond that search, there's another word that I've used with my students and probably with my colleagues that are close to me over the last 2 or 3 years. Something that, for me, has become very important. And when I see the lack of it in work that's become popular, high prices being paid, they win jury competitions, they show up in major museums, and they still seem to be lacking something that I believe in fine art defines fine art. And the word I use for that is profound. If the message of your individual voice is not addressing something that's a profound concern to you, something of profound interest to you, and therefore provides a profound message to your viewers, then why are you doing this?
One of the things that's happened to me this year is the fact that I've had the chance to meet, particularly others, be able to see photography in a different way than a snapshot, where I was a snapshot shooter. And I started to understand this whole process. And there's from my psychiatric background, there's a creating process, the observing process, not just creator's observation, how it affects me. And this year more than ever, I've seen more photographs in the gut, Noam Ray's photographs, we're having a conversation about the fact that Noam Ray at one point talked about the fact that things, how did he add a meaning to his life. This year I've been struggling things career-wise, and such. And when I first met Noam Ray, I was a bit awed by the fact that he would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and set up this large format camera, large tripod, 12 hours for the right cloud, the right sun cloud, and the right sun for snap position. The picture snap is single. When I started to see his pictures, I understood what that meant. And I thought it was crazy. I'm always an evening person. All of a sudden I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning to Originality to take a picture of Cape Point. Sitting in the middle of the morning, waiting after the sun, and as the sun had passed, I was just struck with beauty, what's going on. And that, whether that's original or not, and also in every moment as well, it's original as well. That's to me, the important these photographs. At times, reaction, create one yourself, that's why not, that's another issue. And you can't predict that. Some like people criticize all these somebody else really likes, really, the approach is a non-verbal issues that are part of being human, and it's liberating, exciting, and it's exciting.
If it's new to you and it's the first time you're doing something or approaching something, it's original. And then the second part is if it's new to others that view it. But I think it's just a two-step process, and the fact that you're doing it and it might lead you down another road is really important, no matter if it's been done before.
Looking at other people's photos, especially when I find a photographer that makes me go, oh God, I have a long way to go, really is what does help me kind of see the most about myself and what I'm looking for in a photo, what I'm trying to say. And it isn't always that you're going to go out and copy another photographer, but you do see that little bit, that little feel in a photo, that little bit of light, that little whatever it might be, that expression.